Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Brian Shields. Let's get to it. Let me show you what we're seeing. Here we are in the Caribbean. So again, far away watching this system up here. As I've been talking about, this time of year, we're looking up here. Hurricane season, we're looking off the coast of Africa. But this here, this big system, and you may have been hearing about it, and we've been talking about it together, these big systems rolling into California. By the way, in California, we are all thinking of you with the rescues going on, the flooding going on. So we got you in mind. Now, these systems that dive across the United States, parts of Mexico, yeah, they do impact us in the Caribbean. And because they're so strong, we're going to see a bigger front moving in. We sometimes get fronts clipping us by in the northern Caribbean this time of year. It is winter, but because these systems have been so strong, unfortunately, for our friends back here, they dive a little bit more to the south. And yeah, they could bring down some cooler air, and that's just what we're going to have. So a little something different in this video. I'm going to look even more ahead and break down this system in particular, what it means in the Caribbean. So again, here's Jamaica, for example, Aruba, Belize, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, Barbados, St. Lucia, watching Anguilla, Antigua, and Barbuda over toward Puerto Rico. Here's the front. This is Thursday. This is tomorrow. So the system I was watching here kicks in this front here. So you've got the front right here again, Thursday afternoon. You see it draped all the green, by the way. That's the rain, this coloring here. The brighter colors, heavier rain. But you got the front here. The colder weather back behind it sweeping in. So let me take you out in time. This is by the time we hit, as we get into the weekend or closer to the weekend, Friday at 2 o'clock. So a couple days from now, you see the front now moving. Look how far it stretches down. Because it's such a powerful system back here right now, it's going to be able to dive down even farther into the Gulf. You see this rain clipping by over toward Cozumel, over toward the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, stretching back some rain getting close to Bermuda, the Bahamas, parts of Florida. But again, Friday afternoon, there's the colder weather that's going to move in. I'm going to break that down in a second with a different map. Winds ahead of it still out of the east. Look what happens here. Let me take you out in time, stop the clock here as we work our way into the weekend, showing this front punching through. This is by the time we get into Saturday afternoon. Heavier rain, by the way. Bermuda, watching rain over toward the Bahamas. But you see this very thin line right here? That's the front. That's how far south it gets. Cayman Islands, my friends in the Cayman Islands, got you covered on this channel. Jamaica as well. That front knocking on our door by late Saturday, that front moving in, already clearing through Belize. I'll get to Belize in a second. Honduras, a better chance of rain. Keep an eye on Panama, Nicaragua out ahead of the front. Here's Haiti as you get over toward the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, Cuba, cooler weather sliding in. Those winds behind the front by the weekend are going to start to change out of the north and northwest. And yes, that is going to bring us some cooler weather as we get down the road. Then on Sunday, look at the front. Now, down the road, the front starts to diminish some, but I painted on this white line to show us where that front is. By later on Sunday, the front sweeping right near Puerto Rico. I'll get to that forecast. Passing by Jamaica. We've got some cooler nights on the way. A little in the way of refreshing air, stretching all the way back near Honduras as you get toward Nicaragua and Costa Rica. There's the front right here by the time we get into the second half of the weekend, and that means the winds behind it more out of the north. So I'm going to get to the forecast, but let me show you this with the temperatures and the winds. Now, I'll draw on some of the winds because these are arrows. They may be small on the device if you're watching this from your phone. So here are the winds. This is tomorrow. Again, looking ahead. Tomorrow, winds more out of the east, even southeast and south as you get back through the Gulf of Mexico. So that's keeping things warm. But look at the cold air and this kind of purplish and blue shading diving down. Let me take you out in time and stop the clock right here. Saturday morning. This is Saturday morning. Look at the winds. Look at that cold air plunging down into Florida. And then look at the winds out of the north all the way down to Costa Rica and Panama. A northerly flow with us. Winds out of the north and northwest, Bahamas, Turks and Caicos, Haiti will have the winds out of, especially on the north side, out of the north, Cuba, same thing, Cayman Islands, Jamaica, northerly flow, even on the edge of Puerto Rico. Still, though, the winds out of the east here, as we work our way over toward Dominica, Martinique, Guadeloupe, St. Kitts and Nevis, as we work our way all the way down through St. Vincent and the Grenadines and Grenada. And then this is by the time we get into Sunday. Look at this flow out of the north, stretching all the way down close to Aruba, Curacao, Bonaire. We're pretty far south. So with that, still mainly that easterly flow, but that northerly flow intact. And I'm going to show you those temperatures in just a second. Over toward Jamaica, that northerly flow still with us by the time we get into Sunday. But we're in the Caribbean. it doesn't last too long, and you could already see well back behind the front by the time we get into Sunday. While some of us are getting those northerly winds, look what's happening here as we work our way toward Mexico. Winds, Texas, my friends in Texas, a lot of subscribers on this channel. By the way, thank you for taking the time to subscribe. I see it and I appreciate it. Those winds coming in out of the south in Texas by the time we get into Sunday. So Texas is going to get colder, but again, things will turn around by the second half of the weekend, and then we'll start to see numbers bouncing up. So a little bit in the way of some different maps here, talking about this winter front for us in Jamaica. Now, breaking it down, Thursday and Sunday. So Thursday, winds are out of the southeast and breezy. Southerly component to the winds, it's going to keep us warm. So Thursday, 30 degrees Celsius in Jamaica, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. But by Sunday, the front moves by. Winds, northeast, 32 kilometers an hour, northeasterly flow. Look at Sunday, 26, 27 degrees Celsius. So you're talking about temperatures 78, 79, 80 degrees Fahrenheit. In the weekend nights, just under 19 degrees Celsius. That's mid-60s with Fahrenheit. Definitely cooler temperatures at night, especially Saturday night and Sunday night. Got you covered in Jamaica. Can let your friends know about this channel and some of the cooler weather on the way. And you will notice it even more so at night. All right, Puerto Rico, front clipping by. Here's Thursday, winds east, so easterly. We're not dealing with the northerly breeze yet, still out of the east. So temperatures on Thursday, so that's tomorrow, close to 29 degrees Celsius, 84 degrees Fahrenheit. But look at Sunday, and you know in the Caribbean, just a slight difference in temps makes a huge difference. Sunday, 27 degrees Celsius, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. So yeah, you may say only a degree or two, not much of a difference. It's a big difference when you're dealing with the Caribbean or the South as a whole. And by Sunday, winds out of the north in breezy. That's the change. Now, with the front moving by in Puerto Rico, over toward parts of Dominican Republic, Haiti, British Virgin Islands, U.S. Virgin Islands, Anguilla, even down through St. Kitts and Nevis and Montserrat, there is that higher chance of rain Sunday. And as you hang with us and subscribe to the channel, you hang with me, I'll give you those updates on that rain chance. It will be increasing with the front for the second half of the weekend. Now, different story, Trinidad and Tobago. Now, we're pretty far south, so getting a front into our direction, it's really hard to do. So with that said, the weekend, generally staying warm. There'll be a slight edge off of some of the humidity, though. The subtlest of differences, the smallest of differences, Trinidad and Tobago, the front action mainly to the north. By the time it crosses by to the north of us, kind of fizzles out. 28 degrees Celsius this weekend, 83 Fahrenheit. At least we're not baking like in the summer. 30% chance of a passing shower storm. And you see the winds this weekend in Trinidad and Tobago below the front, still staying out of the east. You may feel it a touch cooler at night, Sunday night and Monday night. But again, Trinidad and Tobago, we are pretty far south in Trinidad. So with that said, here's the winter front timeline for you. And again, I'll give you the updates and I'll fine tune the rain down the road for some of us. The front enters the southeast United States on Friday, sweeping into the Gulf of Mexico, northern Caribbean this weekend, like I just spelled out in some different locations, getting that change in wind direction and some of the cooler air moving in. That northerly wind sweeps in. And those cooler nights, plus that slight drop in the humidity, and then watching those showers in our northern zones as that front moves by. So again, these huge systems in California, yeah, they play into our weather in the Caribbean. Sometimes they just clip us by, but because they've been so big in the United States, they're now giving us bigger effects as we get into the Caribbean. So I'll keep you posted. Thank you for your enthusiasm with this channel. I appreciate it very much. I love this weather community. I will get to those comments all day long. Have a great day ahead.